Welcome back to the show. I'm Eitan. This is Drexton in studio right now. I'll say it. What a freaking booking. Give it up for comedian Alvin Kuwai.
Everybody.
Hey, what's up, man? This is awesome. This is one of those where you're a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Like, we just know you from the comedy scene, and we got to have you come in and
I knew you
talk
from the
to you.
Atlanta comedy scene, and then you moved up to New York like around the same time I moved up, I think.
We unknowingly moved up at the same time together.
Yeah.
And you were like one of the first people I met in Atlanta. And then you were one of the first people I met in New York.
Yeah, we
So I
represent
know you guys-
very significant. I remember early on, doing those like mics and stuff like that, like in that upstairs room at the Pit.
Yes.
You know what? That is such a moment in time. There was this tiny little closet that was maybe, I'm not even joking, maybe the size of 2 of these desks.
Yes.
Tops. And comics, there would be like 15 comics just in a room, just dying of heat.
Yes.
Doing comedy.
Telling our jokes to each other. It was absolutely a fire hazard.
It was.
No way it was legal.
It was. And then we had Urban Grind, which was like our Tuesday spot in Atlanta, and it was a coffee shop, so while you're on stage, you just hear a blender in the background during half the bits, just like, like oh,
I'm not going to say what club, but there's a club in Ohio that you maybe you performed at right outside of Cleveland. That is famous because they have like blended drinks there.
Yeah.
And they don't have a door or a wall.
Yeah.
So you're basically making a full smoothie while a show is happening. And I always am like, why don't you? No one wants smooth. No one is like, I'm not going if there isn't mixed drinks.
There's nothing worse being heckled by a machine.
Yeah.
You just joke just gets no laugh, and then you hear like the coffee grinder in the back. It's like I would prefer crickets. That'd be better.
I think that those machines also are like really acute and really good at like starting right when you're supposed to hit a punchline.
Right.
Like the second you're about to everyone's like listening, they're waiting, oh, they're set up, coming over it.
There's a club that I like to perform at, but they forget to turn off the master mic.
Which one?
I'm not talking.
Come on.
They forget to turn off the master
ruin
mic.
your
They're like,
career.
Come on, dude, do it.
You're on stage and you just hear conversations in the green room happening like audibly around you in like a very quiet tone. So you're like, what is going on? So the audience at first is like, oh, maybe there's like a ring in the mic, and then it just gets worse and worse as the show goes.
Is that
That is
Broadway?
terrible.
I would not, I don't know. Who knows?
Bro,
Broadway?
because the green room conversations are also like the worst, because comics are the worst people on the
We are.
planet. So, when they
Degenerates.
talk in private, it's just like, that shouldn't be heard by anybody.
It's actually funny because anytime that there's a show that comes out that it's like comics green room or something like, oh, this is raw and unfiltered. And I'm like, this is not true. This is comics riffing about news. If it was actually unfiltered, it would just be people like trashing the current person on stage. Being like, he's just there because he's hot.
Yeah.
Talking
Trashing the
smack
current
about
saying things that absolutely would get you canceled.
Yeah.
And then like the owners and the managers getting in on it. Like being like, you're right. Like, no.
If you wanted a comic show, like it was totally unfiltered, the tagline should be, if you want to ruin your day.
Yeah.
If you want to lose faith in humanity, watch this show.
It's also because then you would hear snippets of conversations just being like, yeah, listen, I'm 20 bucks away from making rent this month. I got to do 8 more spots tonight, and then maybe I hit it.
I didn't know poverty like that existed on the planet.
Yo, you
insane.
find out how bad you can be living in the best city in the world when you're a comic. I got to talk about getting canceled, though. Currently, we're both canceled. Just congratulations. You're one of the voices on Podcats.
Oh, yes.
Which is premiering tonight on Fubu. It's produced by Maximum Effort, which is Ryan Reynolds' group.
Yeah.
The premise for it, talk to me about it. I saw the trailer today. It's incredible.
Yeah, so it's basically, I'm with co-stars Aristotle Athari, he's ex-SNL, and then Sydney Washington, who I think she just won an Emmy. She's very, very
great.
talented. Yeah.
I love her.
What'd she win an Emmy for?
Funny guys. I think the best supporting actress in a TV show. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And,
What show?
you have to ask her, but yeah, they're both so super funny, and we're basically just voicing these cats, just talking about like pop culture.
Yeah.
And also just having like a cat perspective on like human pop culture. So
Yeah.
it's fun. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like perfectly like representative of Ryan Reynolds' humor.
Totally.
It's right up his alley.
It makes complete sense. I mean, if you watch the trailer now, it is literally just you guys put a bunch of cats in a room and you're voicing these cats who are having like a totally normal conversation.
Yeah.
Like completely normal
While the
conversation.
cats are just...
The cats are doing cat-like things too, and they don't force the cats to do anything. So sometimes the cats will just like walk across the table, start licking their butts, like licking the microphone, and we're still talking about like, well, President Biden Day. And
Do the cats talk about sports at all?
Yeah. I think the first episode we talked about the NBA draft, and we talked a little bit about the UFC.
How are you feeling about the NBA draft?
It's exciting, man. Anytime I see a guy over 7 feet tall enter, I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, insanely tall.
He's so tall.
It is creepy how tall he is. His hands are weird. It's just.
Can I ask a weird question? Does he not look fragile? Every time I see Victor Wembanyama, I always am like, if he falls down, he'll shatter.
But that's
There's no
always before,
muscle on him.
Yeah, but that's always before they enter the NBA because then they start that weightlifting program and they get ripped. You know, like Giannis.
Yeah. Steph.
Yeah.
Steph was tiny, and then now all of a sudden he's still tiny, but he's like ripped about.
He's like a little chunky now.
Yeah,
he's fat. You can say it. Steph Curry is a fat man.
I want
crap, dude.
Victor Wembanyama to be the size of Zion Williamson in 2 years.
But is that okay? So then I guess the question would be though, Zion. One of his big issues is that the guy likes eating and he's huge, and his profession involves him jumping up and coming down really hard on his knees. Do you not think it would be an issue to put more weight on Victor Wembanyama? Like, what if Victor Wembanyama, became like very heavy and then like fell down on his like knees?
Yeah, I mean, if he just like completely fell, that'd be a problem. But the thing is, he's so tall that like when he jumps, he doesn't even have to jump that high to reach the rim.
Yeah.
So he's just basically doing a calf raise to get to the rim. So his knees are gonna be fine. Yeah.
That's what they got.
Get in there.
That's what they got to do. They got to get him like real good, thick, strong calves.
Yeah.
And then no definition all the way up to his arms. So he's only got muscly calves and big arms, and that's it.
Platform Nikes.
Yeah.
Platform Nikes. You put every player at 7'4", and then just kind of dunk them in.
I think the NBA should lower the rim. Like people talk about like the WNBA, they should lower the rim. I want the NBA to lower the rim. I think that'd be great. Lower it to 6 feet. Let's see these players fly, dude.
I also, can I ask, I'll put this out there also. I think that they got to make the court twice as big. I think everyone's too big. I think that they made these things when everyone that played it was just like a tiny Jew from the Upper West Side. And now, we've grown to a point where everyone looks comically large on this thing.
Yeah.
You got to put them on like a soccer field.
I want to see a game of like the old school players versus new school players, like AI'd, and it's just like a guy who's 3.5 feet taller, just
Ozzy
like
Sheckman.
1950s.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like some white dude with glasses. He's an accountant at his day job.
Yeah.
And then LeBron James comes in just
Ozzy Sheckman trying to go up against Zion and just being obliterated.
Commentary's all the way off. You can't have it.
Are you? You're also like a big like one championship fan. We are huge one championship fans over here. Who are you rooting for? Who are your favorite fighters out there?
Yeah, I love. Well, that's the thing. One championship is really like an ode to like all the true martial arts fans. They have like the Muay Thai with the small gloves, the BJJ. So I really like Demetrius Johnson. I love Mikey Musumeci. I love
He sat
Super
there.
Bond.
He was here.
That's good.
He literally sat in that
I'll
chair.
sniff the chair after the show.
We actually have a basketball
basketball.
signed by Demetrius Johnson.
Oh, that's amazing.
We
We
need to
need
get-
basketball though.
Because we didn't have anything else for him to sign. And I was like, how about this? And he's like, all right.
Yeah. I love Super Bond,
Yeah.
Super Lek, and Raw Tang.
Can we go back on Demetrius Johnson for a second? His last match against Marias, they split the first 2 matches. DJ took it on a judge's decision in the last match they had. He's been hinting at retirement.
Yeah.
Do you think, 1, is he actually going to retire? And 2, should he retire?
I don't think he should retire. I think he's got more fights left in him just because he's so technical. And there's like fighters that have the style of like taking damage and giving damage.
Yeah.
But he's like a very technical guy, so I feel like he's got a lot of fights in him.
Yeah.
That being said, though, it's always good to see like fighters that retire at the mountaintop because you see too many fighters staying in the game for too long, and then it becomes like.
And that is what I'm afraid of, like with him and a whole bunch of other players.
But DJ,
just in any sport, is just like you hit a mountaintop and then you say, I can go for one more, and then you don't. So then you keep it going, and then you.
And then it
fail.
gets a slippery slope, and the worst thing that could happen is that DJ comes back, he loses, comes back, loses again, and then you see him fighting like Jake Paul and stuff, which is what seems to happen with a lot of these fighters who are like just trying to get like that last minute, like, just want to be in front of a camera a little bit more. It's an issue.
But that's the thing is, I would want to see him fight Jake Paul. I think he would ruin Jake Paul.
Do you think
Absolutely.
Jake Paul should hop into a one championship style? Like, do you want influencers in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not? It's all fun, I don't think it's taking away from like the greats in the sport. Everyone knows that it's kind of like a circus style thing, and I actually think he would do well. He knows how to punch. He used to wrestle in high school.
I don't know.
Like he's big and athletic.
He's athletic,
He's
but I think
proven.
that he gets in there and like he's got to deal with like the technicality of a Mike Musumeci or like the sheer power of a Super Bond, and he can't keep up.
He wouldn't be able to keep up with professional athletes.
Yeah.
No, but he should get in the ring with like a KSI or something.
Totally.
An MMA fight.
I also think like you're putting him against like a Mikey Musumeci, like grappling. I think that what's good about Jake right now is that he knows he can hit, and that's it.
Yeah.
It does get an issue if you start to throw in kicks and stuff like that. But I do think that he should be, going against like other like novelty acts like KSI and stuff like that. I agree with that.
I think he should fight Drexton.
Oh, you heard it here first.
You heard that.
All right.
One Fight Night 13.
Jake Paul, I'm coming for you, baby. We got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more Sports Talk.
Drex versus Jake. Then you got Musk versus Zuckerberg. Same card.
And then Aton versus everybody. That's right.
Aton versus Anxieties.